Chocolate bars sold nationwide are under recall this morning over possible salmonella contamination.
That dark chocolate bar sitting in your kitchen drawer right now, the one you reach for after dinner, the one you give your kids as a treat, the one you chose specifically because you heard dark chocolate is good for your heart, has been independently tested by scientists, and what they found inside it has triggered federal class action lawsuits across the United States that are still active in 2026. Lead, cadmium, two heavy metals, no warning on the wrapper, no disclosure on the label, no information anywhere on the packaging that would tell you that eating 1 ounce of this chocolate every day, 1 square, the amount most people consider a responsible portion, puts you above the level that public health authorities classify as harmful. Go pick up that chocolate bar right now. Look at the front. Look at the back. Read every word on that label. You will not find the words lead or cadmium anywhere. You will not find a warning. You will not find a test result. And you will not find any indication that independent laboratory testing commissioned by Consumer Reports, As You Sow, and law firms across the country found these metals in all 28 dark chocolate bars they tested. Every single one, not most, all of them. Stay with me through all 4 brands on this list, because the last one is the brand that was specifically chosen by health-conscious shoppers who thought they were making the careful, responsible, informed choice. And what the laboratory found inside it in amounts exceeding California's maximum allowable limits level will change how you look at that wrapper forever. Number 1. Hershey's Special Dark Chocolate. The brown and silver wrapper. The brand that has been in American homes since 1894. Your grandmother had Hershey's in her candy dish. Your parents kept it in the cupboard. You have bought it 100 times without reading the label because Hershey's is the most familiar name in American chocolate. A company so deeply embedded in this country's food culture that it named an entire town after itself in Hershey, Pennsylvania. That name recognition is the most powerful thing the company owns, and in 2026, it is working against you. Consumer Reports tested Hershey's Special Dark Mildly Sweet and found it exceeded California's maximum allowable dose level for lead by 265%, not slightly above the limit, 265% above it. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, the Cancer Research Division of the World Health Organization, states that there is no safe level of lead exposure for children. None. Zero. Lead crosses the fetal barrier during pregnancy. It damages the developing brain. It causes learning disabilities, behavioral difficulties, lowered IQ, and seizures in children whose brains are still forming. The CDC has spent 50 years telling parents to eliminate every possible source of lead from their children's environment. Your family's chocolate bar contains 265% of the allowable limit, and the wrapper says nothing about it. The Hershey Company, headquartered in Hershey, Pennsylvania, generated $11.2 billion in net revenue in 2023. A class action lawsuit was filed against Hershey in federal court in New York by plaintiff Christopher Lazzaro, who alleged that Hershey had exclusive knowledge of the quality control testing on its products and therefore knew or could not have been unaware that lead and cadmium were present at these levels. The lawsuit alleged breach of implied warranty, unjust enrichment, and violations of New York general business law. The law firm Weitz and Luxembourg separately filed its own class action against Hershey and its Lily's brand.
Number 2. Lindt Excellence Dark Chocolate 70% and 85%. The gold wrapper, the Swiss brand, the chocolate that costs more because it presents itself as better, more refined, more carefully crafted, worthy of a premium price. Lindt does not just sell chocolate, it sells the idea that the person buying it has chosen something superior. Premium packaging, European heritage, the word excellence printed directly on the bar. That word is now the subject of a federal lawsuit. Consumer Reports found that eating just 1 ounce per day of Lindt Excellence Dark Chocolate 70% Cocoa or Lindt Excellence Dark Chocolate 85% Cocoa
puts an adult above the level public health authorities classify as harmful for both lead and cadmium simultaneously. Both metals, both above the limit, in 1 ounce, the amount you might consider a single reasonable evening portion. Plaintiff Camilla Harkavy filed a class action lawsuit against Lindt and Sprungli North America, Inc. in a California federal court, alleging that Lindt sold chocolate containing unsafe levels of heavy metals with no warning to consumers. A second class action was filed against Lindt in the Eastern District of New York. U.S. District Judge Ann M. Donnelly denied Lindt's motion to dismiss the case, ruling there was potential consumer deception over the implied safety and quality the brand marketed. But here is where it gets worse. When Lindt's own lawyers defended the brand in court, they argued that marketing claims like expertly crafted with the finest ingredients were, in their own words, exaggerated advertising, blustering, and boasting. That was their legal defense. The premium they charged you for was, by their own lawyers' admission in federal court, exaggerated advertising. $11 billion.
Number 3. Godiva Signature Dark Chocolate 72%. The gold box, the ribbon, the gift bag that appears at every holiday, every anniversary, every occasion where chocolate is meant to communicate that someone matters. Godiva has positioned itself at the very top of the mainstream chocolate market. Not a bar you grab at checkout, but a purchase that feels deliberate, elevated, worth giving to someone you love. Parents give it to teachers, children give it to parents, partners give it to each other. The box signals care. The contents told a different story when independent testing examined them. Consumer Reports found that Godiva's signature dark chocolate 72% cocoa bar contained 146% of California's maximum allowable dose level for lead in a single 1-ounce serving. A class action lawsuit was filed against Godiva, alleging the company sold a dark chocolate product containing an unsafe level of lead and omitted that information from every piece of packaging, every marketing material, and every point-of-sale display. Cadmium, classified by the World Health Organization as a Class 1 carcinogen, the same classification as tobacco smoke and asbestos, accumulates in the kidney over years of repeated low-level exposure. It does not leave the body quickly. It builds. It damages kidney function slowly, without obvious symptoms, until the damage is already done. The gold box communicates luxury. The cadmium accumulates in silence.
Number 4. Trader Joe's dark chocolate 72% and 85% cacao. This is the betrayal that hits the hardest, because Trader Joe's customers are not people who shop without thinking. They are the most label-conscious, ingredient-aware, health-motivated grocery shoppers in the country. They chose Trader Joe's specifically because they believe it holds its products to a higher standard than a conventional supermarket. They read labels, they compare ingredients, they pay attention, and they chose Trader Joe's dark chocolate because it felt like the responsible choice. 63% of American consumers believe that choosing a store with a clean food reputation means the products inside are cleaner. Trader Joe's built an entire business model on that belief. Consumer Reports found that Trader Joe's The Dark Chocolate Lover's Chocolate 85% cacao tested at 127% of the maximum allowable lead level and 229% of the maximum allowable cadmium level simultaneously. That is nearly 2.5 times the cadmium limit in 1 ounce per day. Plaintiff Thomas Ferrante filed a class action in New York federal court against Trader Joe's. Safe Pick 1. Taza Chocolate. Here is what chocolate looks like when a company decides transparency is not optional. Taza Chocolate, founded in Somerville, Massachusetts by Alex Whitmore in 2005, publishes the results of its heavy metal testing online, publicly available, regularly updated, accessible to anyone who searches for them. Their stone-ground organic dark chocolate uses direct trade cacao sourced from farms Whitmore visits personally, from origins chosen in part for their lower heavy metal soil profiles. Taza holds its direct trade partners to published standards that include limits on heavy metals at the farm level before the cacao ever reaches the facility in Somerville. Open a bar of Taza and smell it. The aroma is earthy, complex, and slightly grainy from the stone-ground process, nothing like the smooth, processed smell of a Hershey's bar engineered for mass palatability. Break a piece. It snaps cleanly. The texture is slightly coarse and intentional. The stone grinding preserves the cacao's natural properties rather than refining them into commercial uniformity. Taste it. The flavor is direct, real, and genuinely different from bar to bar based on origin. That variation is what real cacao tastes like before it is homogenized for volume production. Taza is available at Whole Foods, Amazon, and specialty food retailers nationwide. It costs more than Godiva. It tests its products and publishes the results. That is the difference. Safe Pick 2. Beyond Good Single Origin Madagascar Dark Chocolate. The second safe brand takes the sourcing problem apart at its root. Beyond Good, founded by Tim McCollum and based in New York City, makes single-origin dark chocolate from cacao grown exclusively in Madagascar, one of the few growing regions in the world where volcanic soil conditions produce cacao with naturally low cadmium levels. This is not a formulation solution, it is a geography solution. By sourcing only from low-cadmium origins and publishing independent third-party test results, Beyond Good has addressed at the supply chain level the problem that Hershey, Lindt, Godiva, and Trader Joe's have not addressed at all. Break a square and smell the origin. Madagascar cacao has a bright, slightly fruity profile. Nothing like the anonymous dark chocolate taste of a mass-market bar blended from multiple, unidentified origins to produce consistent commercial flavor. The taste is specific. It tells you where it came from. That specificity is the safety. A brand that can tell you exactly which farm, which country, and which soil profile produced your chocolate is a brand that has removed the anonymized supply chain that makes heavy metal contamination invisible. Share it with friends and family, especially anyone who eats dark chocolate daily or gives it to their kids. And don't forget to subscribe, because what we're uncovering next might be even closer to your everyday routine. Stay informed, stay aware, and most importantly, stay in control of what you consume. Thanks for watching.